G'day folks, Forteetu here, taking a little look back into Kerbal Space Program. Now I know I say back into, you obviously have never seen me play Kerbal Space Program before. It's something that I have played, obviously heaps of people out there, I love the game like heaps of people out there, and I'm a pretty crap pilot like heaps of people out there, but I do love the game anyway. What I've decided to do now, obviously Kerbal's got a big update here recently, and I haven't actually taken a look at it, the 0.90 stuff. This is the last save game that I had, that I was running at the time while I was still playing, and under 0.24 I think it was. And there's just one last thing that I really want to go back and do before kind of moving into the new 0.90 beta than ever. I've got a space station in orbit around Kerbal, and I want to move that space station to the moon. So what I'm going to do is build a refueling mission, which just in the process of doing here, we'll put together a little refueling mission, which will get some RCS. Oh, that's what I need. I need RCS. We need to get some liquid fuel, oxidizer, and RCS up to the space station so that we can refuel it. And then Habdul, Merman, and a couple other Kerbals that are already up there, Herman, Merman, Carmen, I think is one of them, are going to be on their way to the moon. So let's see here. Obviously, I need an engine. What engine? There we go, the mainsail, of course. Right, let's... Oh, hey, wait a minute. Alright, and here we are. This is my refueling vessel. I've dubbed it the Extra Sausage. It's a delivery mission. We're taking fuel and pizza, of course. Gotta have snacks. Up to the space station. Knock, knock, knock on the door. Hey, we didn't order pizza. Are you sure you didn't order pizza? It's got extra sausage. You know the drill. Come on, let's get this thing into space. A couple of solid rocket boosters and a couple of liquid tanks on the side, and then this double stack. My hope is that I'm going to get one orange tank and RCS into orbit to go refuel the station with. That's my intent. Just passing the cloud layer. Love this mod in Kerbal Space Program. It just wouldn't be the same without which one is this? Visual enhancements? There's a couple of them that do it. The one that I think I'm using here is visual enhancements, and again this is under 0.24, so I'm not sure what mods are or aren't. Working under 0.90. Now that my liquid fuel tanks have run out before my solid rocket boosters, so I've got my staging wrong. Lovely, that's not a good start. Let's get rid of all that excess weight. Throttle up, throttle up, throttle up, and still losing speed, losing velocity. Right. Okay, not the greatest design effort. Clearly we're down to 80 meters a second and still falling. No, this thing's not going to make it into orbit. Right. I think we have to abandon all hope on this one. A last little hurrah. Oh, kill that. We'll stage. Not that it's going to get us anywhere. Premature ejection. Failure to reach orbit. Mission scrubbed. Alright folks, we're back with a different design this time. This is a complete reimagination, I guess you might want to call it. So there's solid rocket boosters on the outside, some nice big wonkin' ones, fantastic, and then that asparagus staging, I think is what it's called, where fuel tanks feed into fuel tanks feeding into the last tank, so that last tank should be totally full by the time we do our final separation, and should be able to get the most of that into the space station. Got a couple of solar panels on there, battery pack up top, RCS, liquid fuel oxidizer, and a docking port to mate with the station when we get up there. This has got to do it. This will be the one. Alright, are we ready? We are ready. Stabilizers on, throttles up, and away we go. This will make it into orbit. Now, for the astute observers of you there, you may have noticed the throttle back that just happened, and up here in the corner on the right side is the MechJeb tab. Yes, I do have MechJeb installed on this this particular install of Kerbal Space Program. As I said before, I'm not the greatest pilot in the world, and it was taking away some of the enjoyment for me doing docking and some of the more fine maneuvers, so I allowed MechJeb to do some of that stuff for me. If that's a problem for you, my condolences. Hey, by all means, make yourself heard in the comments. If it's that much of a problem to you, you might want to watch another channel. It's okay. For some things, I let MechJeb do the work. If this was a competition, different story, but you know, I'm not competing with anybody here. Right, beautiful. So we've got our solid rocket boosters are away, or just about down to the bottom of our first orange tanks. Go and drop those, and now we'll start our gravity turn. I know I tend to do a gravity turn a bit late on something like that, but with a really big vessel like that, and I found this when I was putting some of the parts up for the station. If I stayed totally vertical before the major first stage separations, it helped alleviate problems with collisions with big chunks of solid rocket boosters and stuff falling away. So I tend to do that gravity turn a little bit late. Okay, one thing, speaking of MechJeb, one thing it is nice for is orbit info. Can't fault somebody having an informational panel up now, can you? What this allows me to do is watch my apoapsis up here while we continue our gravity turn. That's it. Beauty. Apoapsis at 103, so now we can pretty much just coast up to there and then do a circularization burn. We've got some fuel to start that circularization burn with, so I think we're in some pretty good shape here. I do believe this is going to work out. Oh, you can just see back here is station space, or science train. The space train of science. Right, so let's add a maneuver node in here. Back this up just a little bit. There we go. And what? 122, 103, taper that back just a little bit. 107 and 103, good enough. This little information panel up here, I leave up here, you can see what the apoapsis is, so you know that you're not getting too wonky in, or I know I'm not getting too wonky in what's going on, because I tend to get a bit wonky, and periapsis, so I can watch when that's coming up and know when orbit has actually been achieved. Right, we're under a minute to burn. Kind of split the difference here, so I'm just waiting for about 15 seconds, T-minus 15 seconds to start that burn, so I'm kind of straddling the burn about 15 seconds on either side of the node itself. That's my strategy. Hopefully it'll work. Right, so apoapsis is sitting pretty much solid on 103. Periapsis is climbing rapidly. We are positive. Beautiful. Come on, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Ditch those last ones. There we go. And we're done. 111 for an apoapsis and 103 for a periapsis. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. That's it. We can get rid of that node. And now we're out ahead of the station. We're just going to catch up with the science train and rendezvous to deliver our fuel payload. Well, before we do that, we should extend. Solar panels don't run out of power. Beautiful. Lovely. Alright, here we go, making our final approach into the science train. Just going to increase velocity towards the target here, and then get ready to brake. You can start to see this thing as it comes into view here. If you're familiar with the Station Science mod, it's essentially all of the Station Science modules, the cyclotron for the particle accelerator thing, the zoology lab, the botany lab, all strung together in a line with a big drive section hanging off the front, solar panels, crew quarters at the tail end. It's an interesting design, I'll put it that way. I have no idea whether this thing is actually going to make it to the station or to the moon or not, but we're going to give it a go. We are definitely going to give it a go. The Kerbals on board, I'm sure would be glad to be seeing this fuel arrive. From their point of view, it's been months they've been waiting at the station. Now they're fully stocked, they've got lots of entertainment on board and snacks and everything else, and of course waste storage is important. I did add another mod on here which is all about life support. I found it a lot of fun to play around with life support and kind of have that constraint of, you need to make sure that your people are well fed and have enough water and have waste storage and everything else. Later on in that same tech tree, you can find ways to then recycle things. You can start recycling your onboard water and start using up some of those waste materials. And that was really fun to play around with. So you can see the station coming into view now. It's a big one. It's got the drive sections over here on the left from the perspective we're looking at the moment, with crew quarters down towards the right end, and pretty much all of those modules from Station Science in a row. Basically what I'd done is I brought everything up into orbit here individually, brought it all up and assembled it into a big kind of cross pattern, double cross pattern thing, kind of almost reminiscent of the real world International Space Station, vaguely reminiscent of. And I did all the experiments. I did pretty much everything that you could do through the Station Science mod here in orbit around Kerbal. Then, right before I kind of stopped or put Kerbal down for a little bit, I disassembled that station with the intent of bringing it to the moon. It was kind of the last thing that I was going to do. By the way, is it moon or mun or, yeah, I don't know, whatever. The moon. I'm just going to say moon. So I was going to bring that all there, all this there, so I could redo all those experiments in a new place, and I put Kerbal down and wasn't playing it. So now, like I said, I'm going to kick this off by ending this, if that makes any sense. We're just going to refuel this, get it to the moon, and that'll, I think, last thing I want to do under point 2.4. Then I want to move to the new point 9.0 and see what all the fuss is about. Right. Well, let's get this thing docked and the fuel transferred, and we'll be ready to go. Alright, and we're back. Now, I've gone ahead and docked the fuelinator. I've transferred all the fuel over, both liquid fuel and oxidizer, as well as the RCS. It's fully loaded. You can see here the station. I've also reoriented the station a bit. It took some doing because it gets a bit wiggly, but I've reoriented the station in a way that, well, at least here's my plan. What I'm going to do is fire these engines and start increasing my orbit. I think it's going to take a couple of circuits here, but I'll increase my orbit on, if I fire on this side, I should be increasing my apoapsis on the far side of my orbit. So if I keep extending that, the idea, I hope, is that I will eventually get an encounter with the moon on the far side of Kerbal, which means I'll have the sun at my back. Hopefully that little chatterer there was an acknowledgement to say, that'll work. Either that or they were telling me I'm nuts and we're all doomed. Right. We ready to make this happen? I think so. I think we are. I think we are. Alright, everybody. For science, we're going to take this to the moon. Alright. We've got a good plane here. Fire this engine up. And we're going to try and keep this on point. We're doing alright. We're doing alright. That's not bad. It's more stable than I thought it was going to be. You little beauty, come on. Look at that monstrosity of science. This might take a while. Oh hey, wait a minute. That's not good. That's not good. My periapsis is dropping to 60. Oh crap. I'm gonna be skimming the atmosphere with that. I need to gain some altitude. That's not the right thing to do. Is that the way? That's the way, come on. That's it. I need to get some altitude. Okay, my plan may not have been the greatest. It may not have been the best idea. Now if I burn 90 degrees perpendicular to the surface, I've got to be getting altitude. Gotta be. That's science, right? That's science. Right. We can do this. We can do this. Don't give up hope so quickly. Okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing? I gotta turn around, right? Around. Or, so I gotta, point in another direction. Orient myself towards the maneuver node. Why? Uh-oh. We're out of monopropellant. Well, we are at the mercy of the nuclear engines. There is no more maneuverability in RCS. And we are completely now at the mercy of nuclear engines and what little reaction wheel is built into this thing. Sitting around the backside of Kerbal at the moment, have not been able to pull out of this at all. I think there's no way out of this. We're headed for the surface. Just at this point, I cut the engines. I can't steer. We can't bring this thing anywhere around. And to fire now, we're just pointing at the surface and accelerating our descent. I think we're in an inescapable position here. Worman, Desney, Munfin, and Habdol. They're going to be giving their lives, their little Kerbal greenness, in the pursuit of science, in the pursuit of the final frontier. They commit themselves to the ultimate sacrifice. Just about to break the orbital limit now, coming under 70K. And off goes the space music. Now, not to make light of your situation, guys, but could you make it around to the sunny side of Kerbal so that we can watch your demise with good lighting? Just a final request. Just doing a time acceleration here to come into the last part of this, and it's picked up a hell of a wobble. The heat radiators are flying off. Come on, boys, make it around to where the sun is shining. It picked up a serious vibration. Just a little vibration. It's okay. Here we go. We're getting light. Good lighting. That's it. Away we go, guys. Look at that thing wonk around. Oh, that's it. We've got our perspective switch. We're on our way in. A moment of quiet, please. Gentlemen, are there any final words you'd like to say to your family out there? This would be a good time for Chatterer to kick on and go burble 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 something. No, it's not going to. Thanks for playing along, hey? Appreciate that. There we go. Men of few words. I'm really surprised that this has stayed as intact as it is, as far down as it's gone. There go the solar panels. Hey, one of them stuck there. That's pretty good. That's no iconography intended here. That's yep. Uh-oh. Hey, island resort. Beautiful. Come on, guys, you can make it through this. Oh, water landing. Splashdown. You'll be fine. Everything's good. Don't worry. You can see them all upset down here. It's okay, boys. Don't worry. You'll be fine. Just I hope you brought your snorkel. Hope you brought your floaties. And everything freezes while it dissolves. And it just evaporates in the water. That's it. It's gone. Nothing. No wreckage. No explosions. No nothing. Just gone. Just gone. Well, folks, I guess that's going to do it for me. And Worman and Herbdal, Habdal, Herman Merman, Kerman, something. Whoever they were. They'll go down in history, though. That's going to do it for all of us today. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you want to see some more, subscribe, comment, let me know. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed making it. That's going to wrap up my experience with Kerbal Space Program 2.4. The next Kerbal will be 0.90. I'm really interested in seeing what the new stuff is. I've watched some of the other videos out there. It looks like some great stuff to play with. So that's it. Thanks a lot, folks. Peace out. We'll talk to you next time.